On average, I do this mistake about 3 times a week. So if you're new to the show, it might seem like a one-off experience. It's actually pretty regular. I don't do it on purpose. I swear to God, I don't do it on purpose. Okay, but with the power of movie magic and the power of the YouTubes, I can make it appear as if nothing happened. I can't fix this fucking lighting. Oh my God. I hate this. I hate this. Oh, that's better. It's a little bit better. Oh, he's gone again. He's gone again. I got it right. Perfection as always. Welcome to the Daily Preach on Friday, the 10th of August. Our school is finished. Work has generally finished for all our lovely people. And this show, without flaw, goes ahead. Always without flaw, unless you're in the live chat, when there's been mega fail since the start. Before I give out that trademark gesture and throw out this wonderful beast right here, I kicked the camera while I was generally talking to the chat room before we started. If you're wondering why I'm wearing 2 hats, it's because it annoys people very much that I touch my hat while I'm talking. So now I will double that fun for you because I'm cruel and evil and all sorts of terrible things. I kicked the camera and then I started the show once again with a muted microphone. But it's Friday and we don't give a shit. Chat room, show me the love. Show it to me, please. There it is. Hello, the brofist to you all on this wonderful Friday afternoon. I am joyously excited. My internet has been a bit of a pain in the ass all day, so if the stream goes down, let me know straight away so I know without question that the internet has in fact failed me once again. I'll remove that because it's really quite heavy and uncomfortable in my head. It's so fucking hot. Is it hot where you are? I need to know. Is it hot where you are? In this room right now, we did a temperature check. It's 34 degrees in my computer room right now. It is so effing hot. Oh my God. Some announcements before we jump into the daily news and I tell you a story and we do all the wonderful things you join the Daily Preach for. Tomorrow is the game show. Game show, 8 p.m. If you're watching live, it's 3 hours from now. If you're watching on YouTube, it's 8 p.m. GMT. It's the same time as all the other shows. There's times listed everywhere. If you're in Europe, it's just an hour ahead. If you're across somewhere in the other world, it is at some inconvenient time, like the middle of the afternoon or the middle of the night. I can't really help that, unfortunately. But the game show is tomorrow night, as is the web show, where we'll discuss all sorts of crazy stuff, and we'll get Ghosty's opinion. And we're going to be talking, of course, about the drama this week. We're going to be talking about everything to do with WoW, games, and good stuff like that. And then it's our final show before we go to Germany. Of course, Blizzard decided this was the weekend they wanted to test every 25-man heroic boss remaining in Mists of Pandaria. Rushed, maybe? Are you rushing, Blizzard? Guild Wars 2 coming out, is it? Want to rush all the raiders? Every single boss in 4 straight days? What a brilliant idea. Why not announce that you're going to do a 4-day streak hours before that streak begins? That's really convenient, especially for those of us who have to work. So I will miss tonight, as I have to go and film some stuff tonight. It's out of my hands. And tomorrow night we have a web show, which I can't cancel, unfortunately. I can't cancel. This is my job. It's no different than me working nights. I cannot cancel it, so I will be doing a web show and then probably raiding straight after it as soon as it finishes. And then I will be raiding Sunday and Monday, so I will not get a day off this week. Little do I care. Emma cares. Emma cares. It's just what we do. It's what we do, so we will do that. So, game show tomorrow. Come and tune in. Now, I haven't, because I've been a fool this week. A thief and a fool, and a loser, and everything's gone wrong. I haven't contacted the people who are going to be on the game show. I will be contacting you as soon as humanly possible. I'm aware of that. So we may have to pull back some old favourites from the other show. But if you want to be part of the show and you have left a message on the Preach Gaming forums that you want to be on our game show, pay attention to your email tomorrow. I'll be contacting you as soon as I can, which won't be tonight because I'm super busy, but it will be tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the day. I will try and contact you. I'm sorry it's so late. I just have not had time this week. As you guys well know, we had a lot of things going on. Oh, pretty fail. So, oh God, it's so fucking hot, man. Game on. And my throat is raw. I'm really ill, but there you go. Let's talk about some gaming news. Assassin's Creed 3. Anybody like Ezio? He's pretty cool, right? He wears all that cloak stuff. Ghost likes him, which kind of makes me think he sucks. But, you know, whatever. Assassin's Creed 3, November 23rd. That's when it is coming. It has been a release date confirmed. Woo! Assassin's Creed 3. Make sure, if you're not playing any other games at the moment, check out Borderlands 2. It's coming out soon. We shall be playing it together. Forming a team. Maybe we'll do a let's play. I don't like that term let's play. Let's play is by people who get into YouTube for the wrong reasons, I believe, especially in the gaming community. There are two types of people. People who get into gaming on YouTube so they can play more games. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But gaming so you can game more seems kind of not very good for the audience. You know, it's just so you can play more games. And then there is, of course, doing stuff in games in order to entertain people, and games is your medium. Very subtle difference, maybe, but I prefer the latter. I don't care what my subject matter is. I want to sort of produce something you guys enjoy. Gaming, I enjoy as well. It's a nice couple of things. It works together. We also have a very large Let's Play coming up on the channel. We filmed a lot of it today. Orcs Must Die 2. If you don't own Orcs Must Die 2, go and fucking buy it. It's super cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. We managed to scrape together a few pounds between two of us. Me and Genji have done that video. And it's pretty fantastic. We almost finished it. It's not a very long game. We only played for a couple of hours, but we definitely were... I think we had 3 levels left after a couple of hours. But it's a really fun thing. We really, really enjoyed it. We had some great fun doing that. So if you've got Orcs Must Die 2, or you haven't got Orcs Must Die 2, go and get it. A lot of fun. It's like a tower defense game with a third-person shooter thrown in. A lot of fun. Really, really enjoyed it. Let's move on to something else. This came out yesterday. This news came out yesterday, but obviously yesterday's Daily Preach was focused on all sorts of other crazy things to do with money. Not that we like talking about money, so we will leave it alone from now on. That moment has passed, and we don't want to dwell on it. Valve is going to start selling hardware via Steam. Who didn't see this coming? This guy. I didn't think they would go this way. I didn't think they would do it. Wrong. They did decide to do it. They decided to try and do this. So Steam is going to sell some hardware. Interesting. Steam has such a stranglehold on the gamer market. If you can then also get all your hardware through there, are they going to put your warranties through Steam? So all your stuff is registered. I bought it on Steam on this date. There's the warranty. All legit and all stored in the cloud of data. This could have a serious effect. It seems like an awkward market to get into. Not for Steam. They already have a foothold in there for the hardware stuff. They really do. For the software, should I say. For gamers especially, because our games are there. We've spoke about this in the past. Steam has a huge... I want to play it. I use Steam. It's so easy to use. It's convenient. It's buggy as shit. Still a great service. They're going to start selling hardware through there. Interesting. Will they get preferential discounts because they have such a stranglehold on the market? Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, let's move on to something serious for a moment. Let me just put my serious face on. This is relatively serious, actually. Battle.net got hacked recently. So if you're in the US right now, luckily us Europeans, this guy, aren't affected by this at all. But if you are a US account holder, which there are plenty of you, almost 60% of my audience lives over in the US, North America, South America, Australia, and all those wonderful places. Excuse me if I cough, my throat is wrong. Then you need to change your password immediately. And if you have your same World of Warcraft password for other things, like we all do, right? You're supposed to have a different password for everything. Fuck me, I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? Trying to remember 6 or 7 passwords? How many times do you try doing that, and then you go logging into something and you just can't remember the password? Do you know today it took me 8 goes to try and get my Facebook password? I have no idea what it is. You know why? I have a phone. It automatically logs me in. I don't have to do that shit. Fucking hell, it's 2012, baby. I don't log into Facebook. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. But if you are in North America and you have a Battle.net account, change your password. They say that people didn't get any credit card or that kind of information off their Battle.net servers. Cool. That's okay. But I would still change it anyway. They say they shouldn't have got any data which would allow them to access your stuff. They have very devious encryption for their passwords. Okay. Change it. Change it. Just change it. Why the hell not? Just change it. Just go ahead and do it. Change your fucking password. And if you have the same password for anything else, change it. Change it to something else. Change it to Preach owns you, or Preach loves you, or Preach and a cannon monster equals sex we right in the face. Like that. Oh, you know what I mean? Change it to something like that. Something ridiculous that only you would know. And I know it too, because I just told you your fucking password. So if I find your email, I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you, and I'm coming after you large. You understand what I'm saying? Just saying, I'm going to get Jason Statham all up in this motherfucker, all over your account. I'm just going to be like, Delete everything. Got that Thunder Fury? Gone. Fucking gone. So change it. Change your passwords. Be safe. Wear a condom. Change your password. I don't believe in authenticators. Authenticators can be hacked too. Sounds strange, right? I should have an authenticator. Hell, I play World of Warcraft for a living, essentially. But I don't like authenticators. Never have. I don't have one. But I change my password every week or so. And I haven't been hacked for a very, very long time. I was hacked back in TBC, where I had the same password for probably 2 years, 3 years, something stupid like that. I change it every week now. And I've never been hacked since. Just be aware you should change your passwords. If stuff's important to you, change your fucking password. It takes you 5 fucking minutes. And then you'll be okay. Then you'll be fine and dandy. Oh, my chest. It's so hot I've got my chest. Today's daily comment. It's been a return of the daily comment. And you guys are all over the trolls like I cannot express the words. You guys like hunt them down. That is so hilarious. It makes me laugh that when I'm looking for comments, it's people replying to the trolls, telling them to GTFO. Seriously, you're like all over them like a rash. I've never seen anybody like, it's like watching a 15-year-old drunk boy at a Playboy mansion. They're just like oozing and all over the people. They're like, I got you, motherfucker. Come play with me. You guys are troll honey. But this daily comment that I found isn't trolling, but it's so deadpan, it's amazing. It's like he takes us on you wait for it, a journey. He takes us on a journey through the Protection Paladin tank guide I did for 4.3. I actually shot this video fucking years ago. It was one of the first videos I ever did, but Protection Paladin tanking didn't change 4.3, so I just updated it from 4.2 to 4.3. Everything played the same. The hilarious thing about this is that it was before I could upload longer than 15 minutes to YouTube. So every guide I did had to be split into 4 parts. Okay? I had to split into 4 parts. Each like, it was like 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, and like 6 minutes. But it was the only way I could get my guides out there. In the style I wanted to do, instead of me whacking a training dummy going, oh, press Holy Shield, or those better World of Warcraft guides, where there's a guy whacking a training dummy and some text appears and says, press Slice and Dice, press Eviscerate. That is amazing. That is fabulous guide. I can now play rogue like a demon. I really fucking hate those guides. They really make me sick. Some guy whacking a training dummy. It just says Slice and Dice, arrow, Eviscerate, arrow, rupture, arrow, win. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. Let's see your world first with that kind of shit going on. But he takes us on a journey. I'm not going to say his name because it's not really a name. It's like numbers and letters all mixed together and shit. It's like some fucking Bosnian code. If I say his number, I kind of feel like my brain might shut down or something. But he watches part 1. This is a 4-part video, and then he goes, good stuff. Good stuff. Then he gets to part 2 and he goes, good guide. Then he gets to part 3 and he goes, it's a good video so far. Like, we're on this journey with him. We're taking the journey with him. He found the first video and he was like, this is good stuff. He gets to the second part and he goes, hey, you know what? This is a good guy. And then he gets to part 3 and he goes, gotta say, so far, good video. And then he gets to part 4 and he goes, I learned a lot from these videos. Now, depending on how you read this, it's like, it's so deadpan, I was in hysterics. You can go see him sat there and he's watching and he's going, good stuff. Part 2. Good guide. No. Good video so far. I learned a lot from these videos. I did. I learned a lot from these videos. Are you kidding? I'm in the middle of a show. What are you doing? Give it here.
Should I put it on there?
Hi, you're in the middle of a show. Here's pizza. So she's not ringing me at 5 o'clock. She's bringing me like the dirtiest looking pizza I've ever seen. Thank you very much for that. I cannot. You try explaining to your partner that you're doing a show at 5 o'clock and it's live and there will be hundreds of people watching. And then you explain to her, don't interrupt me during that period. She's like, oh, whatever. Kicks the door down. Here's a pizza right in your face, right? And now I get to sit here and do a show for you guys because the Friday show tends to be a little bit longer. Watching it get cold. I get to sit here and live watch it get cold to the point where it's inedible. How good is that? And then I can hear her laughing outside of the room. So I can sit here happily watching my can of Monster get warm in this ridiculous heat and my pizza get cold. What the hell? And it smells nice as well. Let me drink in that scent. My hunger is abating so quickly. Oh, can I just point out, you guys need to really get uglier. Like, except for this guy. This guy must be fugly because he's wearing a helm. Fuck ugly, dude. What's under there? Tell me, is it a giant mole? Is it a giant mole? It's a giant mole, isn't it? It's like hairy as fuck. With the helmet? Ching! Without the helmet? Just joking. I don't know what you look like, obviously. You had the helmet on. But look at this. Yeah! Look at this stuff. We love a younger bro fish. She's going to be a baller one day too. Early training. I bet you're raising her to be a healer, right? Because you're playing a warrior. That's what my brother did. My brother's like, got 2 daughters who both play World of Warcraft. And when they were just old enough to use the keyboard, he's like, you know what the best classes in the game is? Priests. Priests and Holy Paladins. They're amazing. You should level one of those. I would totally do the same thing for my daughters as well. And these guys, what the hell's going on here? The fuck are these pair of models here? He's even got a bro ring. I'm not getting a bro fist off this guy. I'm going to break my finger. But, you know, looking good. And this shit is legit, man. That is fucking totally legit. So, you're making me look like an ugly piece of shit right now. Except for this guy. Fugly as fuck. We know what's going on, don't we? We know, guys. Wearing a Halo helmet? Fucking pizza face. Pizza face. We know it. We called it. Fucking pizza face. Let's move on to question time. Let's move on to question time. I got an awesome question. There's one from the audience. I can't remember the name of the guy who asked it me earlier on. Repost that question if you asked me the question before the show, and I said I would answer it in the show. I don't know how better to say it. I don't know. Don't say me with a question mark. I don't know who it is. Just I forgot your name, unfortunately. But the question came from the Ruffle Turtle. A Ruffle Turtle, that's like the worst Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle I've ever seen. If you've got Leonardo, this is going to test me, isn't it? Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Ruffle. Ruffle's the one who's getting the fucking dry cleaning done on those bandanas, isn't he? He's the one who's washing the loincloths. Ruffle's not getting anywhere. He's new to world... ... of Warcraft. Nice little South Park pun there. Holla Preach, always a good start. Always a good start. I have recently been watching lots of different World of Warcraft videos. Yours the most. Why are you watching anyone else's? The fuck is wrong with you, man? Not watching one of them PvP videos with heavy metal. You got Berserker buff. Turn on the Cradle of Filth while I Mortal Strike someone for 800k. I'm so fucking PvP. It hurts, man. It hurts. I'm angry as fuck. Heavy metal. Fucking love it. Absolutely love those videos. Bring them on. Crit montages, even better. Oh, Recklessness Berserker videos. It's like fisting the devil. Yeah. Fucking love that shit. Bring it on. And have decided to pick up the game. It is currently downloading, and I was just wondering what classes are good for beginners. I've never played WoW before, so I have no clue what I'm doing. Would be great if I got a reply. It would be great, wouldn't it? You're not getting one. Moving on. I'm only joking. Okay, so there's only one class you should realistically start with, and I'm sure the chat is going to explode with "you are wrong, preacher," and you should pick warrior. Loads of people will probably be expecting me to say warrior. No. Unfortunately, no, not the warrior. The druid. Pick a druid. Magnifique. Magnifique. Pick the druid. The druid is the best class for beginners. It might even seem a little bit overwhelming at first. Have no fear. It is not. In Mists of Pandaria, it will be even easier. Druids can be anything. We could be a special little flower as a druid. Yay! We get to do whatever the hell we want as a druid. There are 4 roles in this game. There is only one class in the game that can do all 4. 'Tis the druid. 'Tis the wonderful, wonderful druid. When you get to specialise at level 10, I want to say, level 10, you can pick to be a pussycat, or a laser chicken, or a tree. All sounds a bit hippie and fluffy, I know. We can also choose to be a big bear. But all the reason this is good for beginners is because every time you think to yourself, I don't really like this, you can change to one of the other 4 in the game. And you've already got a class that you're leveling and playing with. It all works together really nicely. You like the look of tanks, you jump into your first dungeon, probably Ragefire Chasm or some other nonsense that's equally as bad, and you see the guy who's the tank and you're like, dude, I want to try that. No problem, a druid can try that. Or you look at a guy who's like a rogue or a warrior, be a kitty cat. If you think, oh, healing looks quite appealing, I like the idea of helping my fellow WoW players in some nice fashion, you can be a tree. And if you like the idea of firing spells and lasers and all that kind of funky shit, try Moonkin out. And you always have to stay on the same class. You don't have to start them boring 10 levels again. Always cool. And then when you pick one that you like, let's say you liked Kitty Cat, but you're not quite happy with it, the other classes look more fun, you've decided you generally favour melee classes, and now you can go ahead and you can choose a warrior, you can choose a rogue, you can choose a shaman, you get to break it down really easily. But with a druid, you could try out all 4 beforehand and just see what feels better. You might even end up loving the druid. Some people do that. Some people like being able to change up all the time. But in general, you will pick the style of play that you like. Everybody seems convinced when they move from RPG to RPG. Excuse me. The pizza has gone frosty and hard like cardboard and no longer smells of anything. Fantastic. The druid can just try all these things out. It's brilliant. But at least even if you don't like the druid particularly, you can find the style of play that you like. That's what's important. And then from there, you can start narrowing it down a bit more. Always recommend the druid to start with. Some people will disagree. Hunter for melee. Don't listen to that. Dick, Karma, Krendor, Dick Knight. We're looking... you might think the live chat is very much full of people going, preach, can I have your wisdom on this? Or you've been playing for too long, can I ask you this or this? Or some sort of philosophical question. What generally happens in my live chat is people work out different ways of spelling DK into various other funny words. So we have Dick Knight, Deathcock, and then someone worked out Paladin, which doesn't really work, I've got to say. Paladin is not a good way of re-abbreviating DK, but in general it's a great experience. Really is a great experience. Donkey Kong, other good one as well. All hilarious things, and we're all belly laughing all the way. Oh, you guys, you do make me joyous. Let's have some questions. I've got some very specific questions that come from all over places. There's a good question. So this I've got before. Why you start putting? The chat is now completely spammed with variations of Death Knight. It's actually gone completely off topic to Cheese Knight and Face Roll, Darth King. Let's wait for the DK spam to wear down, and I'll just keep trying to pick out questions as they pop up. I know there's a few questions I had before the show started that you guys were telling me, so I'll try and keep my eye out for those. This one was from the Gaming Ninja. We don't like ninjas in World of Warcraft. Hey, so about a month ago, I got into Famous Guild. The first weeks of raiding went well. I even managed to be within the run where they first killed Madness of Deathwing Heroic. Awesome. Being a trial and going to a progression raid is good shit. Well done, mate. So the problem I'm having is the last week I made a few errors. Like me not getting to the bloods quick enough on the head, which caused a wipe. What, you individually caused a wipe in a guild like that? Bullshit. Oh, let me put that in Preach Gaming sense. Wrong. No fucking one man is responsible for not killing the bloods with a 30% nerf at Madness of Deathwing. If someone says to me, you were slightly late, that caused us to wipe, you know what I say? Go and fuck yourself. That is just not true. Kiss my fucking ass. That is a lie. So the problem I'm having is, I apologised over TeamSpeak and they seemed fine with it. But the next day I was on an alt, and I find them looking for a new rogue to replace me in trade chat. Holy shit! Oh my god. And also, yesterday was our raid night. So I logged on as usual, but I didn't get an invite. Even if you're not raiding, you still need to join the group. But I didn't mention it because I didn't want to start an argument. I don't know where to go from here. I really don't want to get kicked out of the guild, but I also don't want to be in a situation where they're only using me as a last resort. Any advice would be appreciated. Start a fucking argument. Gotta be done, man. Gotta be done. Don't take shit and don't be second wheel to anybody. It could be. Let's be honest, okay? What we always do is we take things on our shoulders and we accept certain things. Rule number 1 at Preach Gaming, accept your flaws. You might have done other fuck-ups you're not really aware of, or the way they do it is different. It could be that. It might be your DPS isn't good enough. It could be that. It could be any multitude of things that somebody in that guild is too pussy to say to you. It doesn't matter how high the guild is. Guilds generally have a lot of pussies in them. Without going too Team America on it, some people don't like dropping themselves in the shit. These guys might be of the opinion they really need a rogue going into Mr. Pandaria. Therefore, they don't really want to kick you, but if a better rogue comes along, they will kick you like last week's fucking pizza, or like this pizza that I will no longer be able to eat. My God, that's greasy. I can see through my own finger. First of all, the Madness of Deathwing thing is a lie. You sure you might have been late? Are you telling me there was no hunters? I mean, I assume they're blaming it on you because you were the person who was supposed to slow the Bloods. There should not be one person who's assigned to slow the fucking Bloods. There should be hunters all over it. There should be at least 3 rogues. 2 rogues, usually, at least. Okay, at minimum, there should be 2 rogues. But they could have been a weird setup. They could. If you're in the situation where you were the only rogue there, and if you were the only rogue, the only hunter, the only... well, not the... There was no hunters. There was no other rogues. There was no Moonkins. Glyph Moonkins Hurricane slows them too. All those conditions are met. And you were the only person in that raid who was supposed to slow those Bloods, then you deserve to be kicked. I'm sorry, but that is the fact. You will definitely stand out as somebody they cannot bring to progression. I don't mean to be an arse, I'm here to tell you the truth. Some people who are all the YouTubers might go, it's okay, mate, you're going to be just fine. It don't matter none. But that is an extreme situation. I assume you are not in it. I assume you were not in that situation where there were no hunters, no other rogues, and no moonkins, and no other people who could AoE slow. If that was the case, and you were the person who was to slow the Bloods, and you did not do that, then that would probably result in a kick. Or at least from the guild that you are speaking about. Gotta put that out there. I'm not gonna be a dick. That's the truth. I would instantly start looking for another rogue. I would. Because that was your one and only job in that fight. And you were no doubt told beforehand. However, that is an extreme circumstance, so I'm going to assume that that was not the case. And there should have been other people there. Your question actually said that they didn't get killed. Now, that could be for a number of reasons. One is extremely slacky, pussy-ass DPS on the Bloods. That should never, ever happen. The whole raid should be tunneling those Bloods, including the tanks. Or they weren't slowed. There should be other people there who could slow them anyway. There should be multiple things going on. But, again, if that was the situation, fine. Those are the two eventualities. If that was not the situation, and you were not the only one to blame, start some shit, man. Start an argument. Try and get some answers out of some people. Don't be an arsehole about it. Don't be like, hey, motherfucker, I'm about to pull my 9 on your ass unless you tell me what's up. Start a question. Say, hey, what's going on here? I can see you recruiting another rogue. I didn't get invited to the raid last week, so what's happening? Because I don't want to waste my time. It doesn't matter that you're in a top guild. Don't think of a top guild as the only place to be. Like, I'm at the culmination of where I could ever be. There's always other guilds. There's always other guilds. So keep that together. Keep that in mind. But ask some questions. Don't sit there quietly. It shows a lot more character if you start some trouble. Not trouble, but you start asking some fucking questions. Very important. Let's get these questions. Spam so nobody sees his questions. Thank you. Breacher, I consider myself a good player and I'm trying to follow your example and help fellow WoW players in game when I notice they aren't doing too well. Be careful of doing that. Anybody who runs a 5-man or are looking for raid with me will know I barely ever say anything. Some people, in fact most people, do not want to be helped because they do not believe there is anything wrong. That's a hard thing to accept for a lot of people. We spoke about it many times. A lot of people will not accept that they suck. Therefore, they will only get angry when you try and correct them. So I generally don't. If people want to accept that they may have an issue and something to learn, they will come and find my channel. Simple as. Attempts to help them are shrugged off, or I received a reply that looks something like, shut the fuck up. How should I approach players in order to help them play better? You don't. You don't. Nobody in general who is that bad, that is noticeably in need of help. It sounds hypocritical for what I do, I know. But I have realised over the years of playing that people do not want to be directly helped unless they're in a very competitive guild, and then we talk amongst each other about various things. The warriors in Method often talk amongst each other about things we should be doing. Let's try SMF here. Okay, you try Titan's Grip Fury, you try SMF, you try Arms, and then let's work it between each other. But we're all prepared to accept that we're going to make mistakes. That's fine. A lot of people don't want to believe they suck. Happens. It happens. So I wouldn't do it. I'd play your own game. A good baller can get any group through any situation, pretty much. So if you play like a boss, remember, being a baller means you're generally very unappreciated because people don't realise that what you're doing is helping them get through the group. You might have something like 95% of all interrupts done. You might be doing the CC, you might be blinding mobs, you might be gouging another when everything goes wrong. all that kind of stuff doesn't matter. You don't want to be appreciated because you are cool enough to realize that you have done that. No problem at all. Scroll down. I got kicked from my old girl for telling my GM he sucked. I'm trying not to answer any specific gaming questions. Like, item questions and stuff like that. But questions that generally help a lot of people. Preacher! Oh, that was the question, yeah. Sim Rider, awesome. Preacher, I applied for a guild and they said that I had to be 18 to join as they wanted to have some majority. I assume you mean maturity. I am 16. Should I persist and continue to try as I think they offer a high level experience for me and probably help me a lot, or should I drop it? Depends on the guild. It really does. Some people will just say, hey, you're 16? No. And that's it. This is the end of it. My old guild Darkstorm was like that. If you were 16, they didn't even read the rest of the application. It was just a no. We don't need it. We don't want it. Older guilds tend to have a rule like that where they're just like, no. What I would do is probably lie. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody lies on their CV. Everybody in the universe lies on their CV. The people in shitter jobs didn't lie on their CV enough. That is just the truth of it. It is just the truth of what's going on. People lie on their CV. Why the hell not? Do you think anybody really checks out every detail on your CV? No. No, they don't. When I went for my last job and they said to me, how much did you earn in your last job, Mike? Do you think I told them how low my wage was? No. I came up with at least £6,000 or £7,000 extra a year to make sure that what I got was more. Lie all the fucking time. There's nothing wrong with lies that make your life better, unless you're hurting somebody. If you're hurting somebody, then you're a dick. There's obviously an issue there. But lying on things like your CV and a fucking World of Warcraft application, I would just say, yeah, I'm 18. Okay, you've just passed it. They just say, oh, he's 18. Age, 18. Done. They don't even think twice about it. It's then a non-issue. And if you think you're... someone's saying I should say wrong instead of no. No. Yeah, tell a white lie, man. You've probably fucked it up in that guild by now. That's okay. There's millions of guilds out there. Don't worry about it. So don't worry about it. I'm stuck in my guild at the moment. I am always the top DPS meters as a hunter, and I believe I'm doing my best. I want to join a better guild, but don't want to leave my current one due to the people who I raid with. This is probably the most commonly asked question on the daily, right? Anybody who's seen a daily before has seen this question, and the chat will probably answer it for you. I'd be interested. I've addressed this issue a number of times. I'm going to give the chat 3 or 4 minutes to actually answer that question from Grovesy 1993. Oh, interesting from 5-star. Preach. I kind of want to take over leading my current raid. Oh, you usurper! You treacherous bitch! You make me sick. Since my current raid is not very good. And already looks to me like a lot of the management of the team. Oh, they already look to you. Oh, how should I bring up this to my main raid leader? Ooh. There is no good way of doing this. What a touchy subject. I have done this. Many of you know this. I have done this. It never ends well. I made a man cry. How would I do it now? That is the question ultimately. If it was me, how would I do it now? I can't answer that question because you're going to really fuck that guy off. You're basically ousting the guy in charge. It never goes well. I don't know anybody who's been ousted in the history of mankind who took it well. To basically be told you're doing a bad job, that's a downer from a start. And then go on to say, I can do it better, you're a prick. Even if it's true, it's not going to go well. I'd think about it. If it's really bothering you, it might be time to move on and just be like, you know what? The guild's fine, but leadership sucks dick. I'm going to move on. I can't think of a good way around it. And if you start speaking to the officers, that then becomes a conspiracy. Like, legit, that's a conspiracy. That's what conspiracies are. You're now conspiring against the raid leader in World of Warcraft, which... I'm going to say this, but I don't agree with it, right? I wouldn't do it now, but there's a part of me that still exists in the past that kind of thinks it'd be kind of fun to start a conspiracy in World of Warcraft. There's a part in my brain going, it's one of those things. It's like pushing the red button. It's like pushing the giant fucking red button in front of you. You sat there, you're looking at the red button, and you like... And everything about me says, don't push the button. But there's a part in my brain that goes, you know what? Just push the fucking button because it'd be really funny. Okay, Preach Face. Probably just leave is the easiest way to counter it. If he's in no obvious state of leaving at Mr. Pandaria and he's going to continue to do what he's doing, leaving might be the best option. Mike Face from years back. It might be kind of funny to start a conspiracy. It might be, just to see what happens. Even if you're going to leave anyway, I don't know. But try not to make him cry, man. It's a good learning experience. If you're going to try and start a conspiracy, at least World of Warcraft is a relatively safe place to do it. Just try not to hurt anybody, you know. Oh, you're all... Wrong. It is wrong. It's so wrong, but there is no good ending to that situation. You fucked either way. Either you approach him about it in a calm and civil manner and say, look, I feel I can do a better job. Is it possible for me to maybe lead the raid a couple of times and see how we get on? He's going to take it badly. Or you leave, and therefore nothing happened anyway. The one with the least hurting people's feelings is just to leave and move on. I know what the most fun one is, but I've already done it, so I don't need to do it. Yeah, push the button. It's in your brain, isn't it? It's like, I could just do it, though. Oh, there's an interesting one here. Just tell him you're practice raid leading. Yeah, right. Are you fucking kidding me? I practice raid leading. Dude, do you mind if I practice raid lead? Practice for what? You're going to raid lead another guild, or are you going to oust me? There is no good answer to that fucking question. You can't say I'm practice raid leading. It's like some 200 meter runner who starts outrunning everybody saying, I'm just practice sprinting. Yeah, right, okay. I believe you. No, dude, it's fine. I'm practicing. But you're fucking my wife. No, I'm practicing having sex. It's nothing against you. She just happened to be here. I'm having sex with your wife, but I'm just practicing. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just practicing. It's okay. We're friends, bro. Me and you are friends. So I practiced with your wife. She's my friend too, you know? Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Funny. Yeah, it's the only comparison that comes to mind. It really does. It's the only comparison that comes to mind. Last question, because I've got filming to do. We're filming for the game show tonight. We really are. So let's have some other questions that preferably don't involve me suggesting people commit adultery with people's wives. The chat is so spammed. Oh, what was that? Discipline Priest question. Okay, I actually saw a genuine question in there. I'm playing Dis at the minute, and healing and dispelling is running fine. Whoosh, good. But I felt like I could do more for the group. The priest has tools, CC, interrupts, or help otherwise. No, you have DPS. Especially as a Dis Priest, because your DPS is actually healing people. Boosh! Dis Priest should never stop casting, ever under any circumstances, unless you're drinking, obviously. But in general, Dis Priests are awesome. They're like Resto Shaman. You never have to stop. No matter what's going on, you can just be holy firing, smiting, doing darts, and then you can throw out a couple of shields and stuff. It's all interactive. It's what you make of it. A good thing about trying to improve yourself is if you stop doing something, think to yourself, what the hell could I be doing right now? I'm keeping the group alive as a healer, so what else should I do? You should do some fucking DPS, baby. You should do some fucking DPS. Get involved. Be a party member. And then sometimes you'll actually out-DPS the DPSs while healing the group, and then you go... Boosh! That's when you hit baller. Never stop casting if you don't have to. Never stop casting. Oh, I was going to tell you about some good things that I've done, but I have to leave. But considering all the fail and good-heartedness that's happened this week, I was going to tell you about some good things. Okay, considering I've suggested tonight that we do adultery, and also suggested that we start a conspiracy, and things like that, which are very anti-preach gaming, I agree, but, you know, what the hell, that thing's in the back of your head, right? It's whether or not we act on it. I didn't tell you to do it, I'm just saying it'd probably be kind of fun. I'll tell you some good stories. Let's have some good stories. In World of Warcraft, I've told the story, story time with Preach, about the horrible things I've done. Very sad. You're an arsehole, Preach. Sometimes I was. Well, most of the time, back in the day, I was completely. And that's cool. We all do that kind of thing once in a while. Luckily, I grew out of it. Thumbs up. But it's done some good things too. Some good things for friends. I'm going to give you two brief examples because I obviously want to save a lot for a next story time with Preach because you guys love that thing. in one of the guilds I was in, this is a great thing to do. It's about the smallest, simplest things you can do sometimes that really change the way people think about the game and take it to the next level. Some people see it as just a game until something happens. Some sort of interaction happens, and then you appreciate why you're in Orgrimmar. All those people around you are real people. They're people somewhere doing something in their lives, and they all have a story to tell. That's why I love this game. I love MMOs, because those people who are just pixels covered in armor and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, those are people. Those people raging and really giving it out because they suck are people. There are people with a story, and everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. So, in one of the guilds I used to play in, there was a holy paladin, and she was a lady baller. I've played with tons of lady ballers over the years, loads and loads of them. This lady baller wasn't particularly good. Nothing to do with being a lady. But the guild I was in was reasonably immature, especially the healer crew. I actually felt the healer crew was very immature. And very snidey and not very nice. As a collective group, it's very easy to gang up on someone, right? It takes an absolute baller to stand up against a group and say, go fuck yourself. And that's what I keep trying to suggest to you guys. Stand up and fucking say your piece. Don't sit there quietly. Fuck no. Approach it reasonably. And then if things get harsh back, baby. Cause some shit. It's a fucking game. Cause some shit. Who gives a fuck? No one's going to crime through your monitor. And this will help you in your real life. So what we want to do is reenact this situation where I personally was new to the guild and I didn't know that she wasn't the best. She wasn't the best. She wasn't. She did less judgments than everybody else, which give you mana back. So she went faster. She wasn't very good at switching targets. She wasn't very good at understanding mechanics. She was an average player with a lot to learn. And, you know, people are like that. People have a lot to learn. But I wasn't exactly in the cutting edge guild of the year. Do you know what I mean? Her average play was more than adequate for what we were doing. But there were definitely players who were better, and they formed a little clique, as it's called. If you ever want to see the word C-L-I-Q-U-E, a clique, it's a little group of people who are generally assholes towards your group. I've just moved the camera. Holy shit, has it all gone fucked up? No, it's fine. I didn't know this, but I needed a ton of potions making. The girl happened to be a potion master when we needed potion masters, and I needed around 300 or 400 strength potions making. I like doing them in big bulk. I don't have to worry about them for months or for the rest of the expansion. Sorted. So I said, is anybody a potion master online? She replied. I was new to the guild. Some people don't even like replying to trials, right? How many times have you been in guild and be like, hey, is anybody a potion master? And just no one replies to you. 35 people online. It's like you've asked if there's anybody, you know, got a knife so I can slit your sister's throat, right? So I said, hey, you know what? Can you do it for me? She was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so she did. She came over. She flew all the way from where she was. She came to Orgrimmar. She stood next to the potion person. She linked the recipes. She did all that stuff. And then she stood there for about 7 minutes just creating potion after potion. And unlike most assholes, she even gave me the procs. I fucking hate that when you ask a potion master, obviously because I want procs, and then they don't give you the procs. You can count them. It shows in the log that people make more. And then you get exactly the same amount. You might have the mats for 400, and you see them procking like ×5, and they give you fucking 400 back. Yeah, I always got my potions. Always. And this girl sat there for 7 minutes, and we chatted a little bit. And she's like, how do you think about the guild, blah, blah, blah. You know, all trial shit, you know, fucking all that kind of stuff goes on. Anyway, afterwards, I got a pet and put it in a gift box because it was really good of her. I just joined the guild and you want to do something nice. I got a pet gift, and I put it in a gift box and I mailed it to her. And then didn't think anything of it, you know. It's just one of those things. I've given money, I've given gold to everybody. It was nothing to do with her being a girl or anything like that. I just sent her a pet. Why the hell not? It cost me, what, 50 gold? And she just spent 10 minutes of her life making potions for me. I gift everybody who spends time to create something for me. And she replied, and she said, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever done to me in this guild. And I've been in this guild for 5 years. 5 years. And that was the nicest thing anyone had ever done to her. And then as I raided more and more, she was always left out of the raid. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know any of the players were in the raid anyway, names or anything. Then, you know, ultimately they started talking about her on Vent and how bad she was. And she was on Vent, man. It was really rough. So I said, what the hell's your guys' problem? You know, she's in TeamSpeak. And it all exploded. And then she quit the guild there and then. She whispered me and said, that's the nicest thing ever. just to say you were the nicest person I met. I'm sorry I only got to play with you for a couple of weeks. Those little gestures, those tiny little gestures make you realise that the people on the other side of those pixels are real people. And it's easy to sit in a TeamSpeak and just talk into a microphone where there's nobody around you. You could be a complete fucking asshole. It's so easy to do that. It actually takes a fucking boss to stand up. One of the best friends I ever made in that guild, no, not in that guild, it was a different guild, is called Cornso. He doesn't live too far away from me, and we've met on a number of occasions. We've even done business. I got in vans and stuff like that. What a gangster. He used to be in the military, and we just hit it off like that. I mean, sometimes in WoW, you just meet somebody, you talk to them for 5 minutes, and you're like, boosh. If me and you were closer, we probably would have been friends for years. He used to be ex-military. There was a baller who stands up no matter... If someone's getting shit and doesn't deserve it, he's the first one on TeamSpeak. And this is what made me notice him. He's the first one to power up and say, shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter if it's the GM, the officers, or whatever. He's like, shut the fuck up. You're being a fucking asshole now. Keep it to your fucking self. And I was like, I want to know that guy. Because that guy's a fucking boss. And I'm still friends with him to this day. Fucking rock and roll. Another nice thing I did was for a friend called Genji. It took me a while to think of this because I'm never very nice to Genji. This will be the last story before I log, and time is really ticking. Sometimes things don't drop in raids, do they? We've all been there, right? We've all been there. Sometimes things don't drop. An item that we really, really need just doesn't drop. And we can fight for months and months and kill the same bosses over and over again. Genji had one such item. I forget the name of it, but it was the offhand sword from Mother Sharaz in Black Temple, along with a number of other things Genji needed. Genji needed the sword from Mother Sharaz in Black Temple. I forget the names. I forget the name. One of you guys will probably remember it. Of course Genji deserved it. Genji's a fucking gangster. He's a rogue. He's a rogue. Genji's a rogue. And he needed the sword. He was raiding with me at the time. We were in a good guild. It was Kill Count Lost, one of my favourite ever guilds, if not the favourite. And he was in there as well. He joined a week after me. I wrote his application for him. He got in. It was sorted. He raided with us. We had a great time. And we were doing Black Temple farm. We were doing Sunwell at the time. And the sword just would not drop. And Genji had the shittest sword. The Blade of Savagery. Kick-ass. Nice one, Harid. The Blade of Savagery. And it just would never drop. And he had the shittest sword in the fucking history of mankind. It was like a fucking piece of this pizza. Look at this pizza now. It's ice cold and greasy. And he just would never drop for him. Anyway, the one raid he couldn't attend. He had to go out. Because he lives in America and he was raiding on the EU servers with me. That's a baller, that. He raids at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So just so we could raid together and play together. Good story. Orcs Must Die today. Genji stayed awake all night. He stayed awake all night so we could play together all day today. That's a gangster right there. That's a fucking baller. And he's my brother and he gets a bro fist every day. And he couldn't attend this raid. So I'm tanking, of course. Goes without saying, right? So I'm tanking in Black Temple. And I'm mocking on Vent that this sword's going to drop. This sword is going to fucking drop. So we get to Mother Sharaz, and I was tanking and all this, and I was like, dudes, I'm going to log Genji's character. And they were like, we need you to tank. I'm like, somebody else can tank. It's going to get, you know it's going to drop. You know it's going to DE. You know it's going to happen. It always happens. I say, let me just log his fucking rogue for 5 minutes. So I logged Genji's rogue. Account sharing. Oh, you bandits. Oh, you are a whippersnapper. Yes, I logged his account. Very evil, I know. I was obviously trying to steal everything from him. I logged his account, got summoned to Black Temple. His screen is everywhere. My add-ons go fucking crazy. Like, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't play. I essentially stood still, auto-attacking, and then trying to click various buttons with buttons all over the screen. It was a nightmare. It dropped, right? It fucking dropped. And I won it. So what I did was then, which is fantastic news, but Genji's obviously completely unaware. So I Hearthstoned his rogue out, and I didn't equip it either. I hid it in his bags, which are just full of shit, right? Because Genji's totally disorganized. So I got this sword, and I hid it like right next to poisons or something like that, and just buried it right at the bottom. And then left it there, and he logged in. He must have been online for like 2.5 hours and didn't see it. It was the best time ever, because I am like almost in hysterical laughter while we're talking to each other on Vent. I'm almost in complete hysterical laughter that he's got this weapon he's been waiting for months. He must have been waiting 4 months for this weapon, and it just never dropped, and it's in his bags. And then ultimately I had to tell him his name. He was like, oh my god. It was just like the realization was like, Oh, thank God. It's like he'd taken the biggest dump in the world. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then it starts to say, he's like, oh, yeah. And then I can't remember what we were doing at the time. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm getting my mongoose enchant. I'm fucking getting it there. He's like, woohoo! Got my fucking sword, baby. I'm like, yeah, it totally dropped the other day, man. I was like, it dropped like 2 days before. I was like, it's been in your bags all this fucking time. I was waiting for you to notice it and go, what the hell is this? But no, it totally didn't. What a great couple of hours that was. But so happy. Something as stupid as that. Just, I think I might have needed something like the boss. It wasn't the point, you know. It's just doing those little things, not telling. You can have so much fun, and that makes you really realize that these people are other people there. Fucking great stuff. So remember, just do something nice. It could be as small as fucking sending a wrapped gift. Cost you 10 silver, right? To somebody who did a nice thing for you. See what happens. Take into account that these people are real people on the side of there. Right, I'm gonna go, ballers, because I have overran by 20 minutes, and I have so much to do this evening. I'm going to be filming all night, live action stuff for tomorrow's game show. Watch your emails. If you post on preachgaming.com, watch your emails. I'll be speaking to you either late this evening or early morning to try and get you on the show as contestants. Make sure your team speak is up to date, all that good stuff, and we will speak then. Any brofists for tomorrow's web show. Remember, tomorrow's when we're going to go through all the brofists live and apply them to our map. Preachgaming.com. Label them brofists. Makes my life so much easier. And if you have any questions, in fact, for the Daily Preach, please label them Daily Preach. I could do with setting up a separate email. I'll try and do that. We're trying to move our emails at the moment to, at preachgaming.com, because we can do that instead of using these shitty Gmails. So we'll set up something like Daily Preach at preachgaming.com, something along those lines, but we'll announce when that's happening. It's not happening yet. Thank you for tuning in, ballers. It was great to see so many of you on a Friday afternoon. I hope you all had a great experience. Obviously, thank you for this week. I didn't want to dwell on it too much, like some dragging on old record. I'm going to eat my stale pizza. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the game show. It's a great laugh. Ghosty will be here. We always have fun. I hope to see you then. Thank you very much. And genuinely, have a brilliant weekend, guys. And always, be baller, man. Be baller.